Howdy, everyone. Frankie here, New West Reset. Hello, how's it going? Welcome back. Thank you very much for shooting in, joining a fella here for another one. Another live one, as a matter of fact. New West Reset Live, episode 154 here today on this Sunday, January the 18th, 2026. Just a wee bit past 5 p.m. local time. That's mountain time, don't you know? As always, we're coming at you live from the foothills of the Canadian Rocky Mountains here in Purdy, Alberta, southwest Alberta, in Calgary, Cowtown. Thank you very much for joining me and winding down your weekend here with yours truly. Oh, my favorite day of the week. Thank goodness it's here. Great to be here with all of you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great week. As mentioned, episode 154, we're going to be looking at some shenanigans in Hawaii. Another installment of the Pedestrian Oblivion series. This time Hawaii. Honolulu, Hawaii. If you're new to this thing, I find old footage of the streetcar trolley, you know, the trams that run along the tracks in the cities and towns. Usually somebody at some point has mounted a camera, or they've got a film camera on a tripod on the front of this thing. And it does, it does its route through, the cities or whatever. And it's amazing to me how seemingly oblivious everyone is to the dangers of these trolleys clickety-clacking down the street, coming right at you. Plus horses and buggies going by, people on bicycles or horseback, horses pulling carts. Sometimes there's automobiles, sometimes there's old jalopies, but this one's a pretty old one. This one's from 1905, 1906. We'll get to it. So no cars. But still, dangers everywhere. And that kind of gave birth to this series. It just seems like these people just don't get it. So you got to look both ways before you cross the street there, bud? Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Appreciate all of you being here. If you haven't already, please, do all the things to help a fella out. It helps to push me out into the algorithm. Thanks to everybody who's already shared, already subscribed. If you thought you were subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed. Not only here, but to all your favorite channels. Because, more YouTube shenanigans. Links below for everything we're going to cover, including how you can get a hold of a fella over on BitChute, email, of course, YouTube, and Rumble, broadcasting simultaneously on both the HooTubes and the Bumble. So howdy to everybody on YouTube and Rumble. Thank you very much for winding down your weekend here for the Sunday Funday show, Woo! Not too bad out there today. -2 Celsius right now. It's like 28 above in Fahrenheit, give or take. Almost 30 above, I guess. Not bad for this time of year. Let me know how you're doing in the box, in the chat. Say howdy to everybody. See how everybody's doing. What's happening? What's going on? Old World Meek Mock, our old friend in the box. Quay, good to see you. Channel 53 is here. Yeah, we're going to go to Hawaii this time. Why not? See what's shaking, what's happening over there in Hawaii land. DN is here, our old friend DN. Howdy, bud. Good to see you. There's Bernie, my neighbor. He's a fellow Calgarian here. Vacationing and exploring and doing all that stuff down there in California. Be careful down there, buddy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Kathy Broughton in the box. Howdy, Kathy. Good to see you. Down there in Kentucky land. There's Ross. Watered the tree. Howdy, Ross. How's she going there? Down in Kansas City, Missouri. Got to clarify because apparently there's a Kansas City, Kansas, and a Kansas City, Missouri. It is what it is. We got that up here too, eh? Where the line between the provinces cuts right through a city or a town. It's weird. Why even bother doing that? Why are you doing that? It's silly. It's silly. There's Baja. Baja's here. There you go. Put it on there. Put it on your Elvis Hawaii. Yes, from the supposedly the world's first worldwide satellite broadcast live thing ever. Elvis Aloha from Hawaii. You know, doing all that Jailhouse Rock stuff. And, you know, post Jailhouse Rock. You know, in the ghetto and all that stuff. You know. Probably throwing a little Viva Las Vegas in there too for good measure, right? Viva Las Vegas. Why not? Thank you very much. Thanks for being here, everybody. Did I get everybody? Nope. Title. Title's here. Hey, lady out. Hey, lady out there. Yeah, Turtle's here. I know you don't know, but I know who Turtle is. Sheesh. It's not always about you, lady. Some lady out there. Window's open. You know, if I holler Turtle out the window, it's not my fault if people are looking around and what's happening. Howdy, hippie. Hippie shake in the box. DN says currently +6 Celsius in the UK. 40, 43, 44-ish on the Fahrenheit's. Not too shabby. Chassis Nix is in the box. Howdy, Chassis. Hello, hello. Wooden Chrome is here. Listening in. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. 18 Fahrenheit, +18 Fahrenheit in Kentucky. That's chilly. That's colder than here right now. How do you like that? Huh? How do you like them apples? Pretty sour, I bet. Eh? Kentucky is colder than Canada land right now. Eh? Howdy, Ryan. Thanks for being here. Ryan V172 in the box. Hello, hello. 19 Fahrenheit in Northwest Montana. Well, howdy, neighbor. A little seasoned and spicy. Hello, hello. Yes, it is, Frankie. Very sour. Yeah. I wasn't rubbing it in, but I was kind of rubbing it in. Sorry there, buddy. Sorry, my friend. Sheesh. Kiwi MacArthur, 24 in New Zealand, in the Down Underland. Yeah, well, it's your summer down there, but that seems not hot enough. Is it your summer? No. Yes. Yeah. Moving slowly into your autumn, but still summer, isn't it? Actually, no. Just like a month into summer down there. Anyway, thank you for being here. Appreciate all of you. As mentioned, links below for everything we're going to cover. We're going to look a little bit at the history behind this streetcar, tram, the trolley system in Hawaii. Seems it would be a pain in the tuchus, wouldn't it? To have this whole setup on a series of islands, right? And then who decides what island gets it? Because they also had a choo-choo, like in my book here in the background. So they had the steam locomotive railway system, and then they had the streetcar, ding-ding, clickety-clack trolley system. The tram. I guess everything just goes to the big island, right? So everybody else has got to be thinking, whoa, we just got to heel toe it or bicycle, I guess. Great, thanks. And with being islands, but small islands, it's not really, they're not really making much there. They're not building, tink, 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 the streetcars themselves, right? The actual carriages probably got to be sent by boat and maybe assembled once it's there. Maybe it arrives good to go. I don't know. Roberto, ciao, ciao, come stai? Good to see you. Bradley Johnson's in the box as well. Howdy, Bradley. Good to see you again. So yeah, just logistically, it just seems like a nightmare, right? Speaking of, New Zealand, same thing, right? Pretty much everything's got to be imported. You want to buy like in the 1990s when you wanted to buy the newest flat screen television, it's going to cost you twice as much as it would in, I don't know, like Europe or the US or Canada land or whatever. Because, toot toot by boat out there, right? Even though Japan and South Korea and China and wherever it's made these days is closer still. Oh, that would be the best. I would agree. Travel by airship would be awesome. Wholeheartedly agree. Be fantastic. So yeah, we're going to look at the Wikipedia, of course. Why Wikipedia? Well, when you want to look online and start researching something, and you type in Honolulu streetcar system or Hawaiian streetcar trolley, that's one of the first things you're going to get. But I also found another site that gets a little bit more into it or comes at it from, they didn't copy and paste directly from the Wikipedia for their site. So that's good for a change. And there's a couple of photos there as well. Then we'll get into the footage itself. We'll take a little ride on the trolley. We'll pay our nickel to get on, and we'll see what's what. We'll watch these. It's like the old-timey, it's like Victorian or Edwardian era NPCs. They were NPCs before NPCs were NPCs. You know what I'm saying? You're just going to heel toe it out in front of this train coming at me. It's fine. Then we'll take a mid-show break, give you a sneak peek at your upcoming midweek vintage footage video for Wednesday. And when we come back, we'll have a look at some photos and, we'll have a little chit-chat and have a good time. So what do you say? Without further ado, let's get into this thing here. Huh? Eh? Huh? What do you think? Maybe we're just going to pull up what the official, his story, the official narrative says on this kind of stuff. Hawaii has an unexpectedly effed up history, says Channel 53. Yeah, I would agree with that. Kathy in the box seconding that motion. Yeah, Channel, we really messed up Hawaii. Yeah, it's unfortunate. In fact, it was known as the Kingdom of Hawaii until, overall history speaking, until quite recently. Anyway, here we are, the Wikipedia. Hey, they're celebrating 25 years of free encyclopedia. Yeah, great. Good on you. I like you because you're full of shits and giggles. But anyways, let's get into it. Honolulu Rapid Transit and Land Company. So not only are they a transit company, but they're a land holdings company. Not really surprised with that. I mean, definitely railroads also had land holdings divisions. But yeah, a lot of these, municipal railways, shall we say, commuter, electric streetcar trams, same story. So the Honolulu, that's fun to say. I'm already tripping over that. Honolulu Rapid Transit and Land Company was a private transportation provider and land development company in Honolulu, Hawaii. At its height, it operated over 30 miles or 48 clicks of streetcar tracks, which had annual ridership of 20 million passengers. 20 million folks a year rode the barely 30 miles, not even 50 clicks of track. It's not bad. It's pretty good. HRT was incorporated on June 6th, 1898. That's pretty early on for the West. I mean, in general, but for the West, in terms of a trolley or tram system, like a mass transit system, but most especially in the Western Pacific Islands of Hawaii. Come on, man. During the United States' annexation, there we go, of the Kingdom of Hawaii, when territorial lawmakers approved a franchise for an electric streetcar system. The system aimed to provide a modern alternative to Hawaiian tramways, the existing horse-drawn tram company of Oahu. There it is again. There it is again. I'm sorry, but that's completely ridiculous. The omnibus, I get it. It's basically a horse and buggy, but the buggy seats, like 10 to, probably more than that, a dozen to 2 dozen people. But it doesn't go on the tracks. It goes wherever. You want to turn down that street? Sure. It's like a taxi meets a bus, but in the horse and buggy era. They were called an omnibus. Which supposedly it's kind of like a stagecoach bus. It supposedly is the precursor to the tram, the horse-drawn tram, but the horse-drawn tram being more restricted because it's stuck on the tracks. And later on you see the exact same vehicle, and it just all of a sudden has a little thing on the top, and it's the electrified overhead, or sometimes the underground cable. It's like we're almost expecting electric to come in and catch up to the tech. You know what I mean? Instead of the tech catching up to the building tech to accommodate the power system, it's like the tech superseded the power system, and then the power came in later. It's odd. And then, now we don't need them horses no more. Just seems odd to me. Anyway, HRT's first streetcar ran on August 31st, 1901. That's still pretty early for electric on islands, A single fare ride cost 5 cents. Yeah, it seemed to be the going rate back then. Hawaiian Tramways was acquired 2 years later in 1903. So in 1898, they were started. But there was already an existing system there of the horse-drawn. And then 2 years after they had their first car, they were already bought out. So it's changed hands or morphed 2 or 3 times already just since 1898, and it's only 1903, so 5 years. Kathy Broaden asking, where do they keep all of these horses? Well, exactly. We see structures in old photos that are labeled, the barns, and that was for, they had train barns. And again, when I say train, I mean trolley or streetcar, but also steam locomotive, cargo trains. We're told that they were kept in stables, municipal stables. The fire brigade or the old fire department that had the horse-drawn pumpers and ladder cars supposedly also had their own stables. But it would seem like there would be stables everywhere. Lines were quickly built around central Honolulu, along with lines to the then underdeveloped neighborhoods of Kaimuki and Manoa. I'm going to butcher these because, Canadian, eh? I can barely speak English, never mind Hawaiian there, bud. Anyways, they drew in business and residents to the areas. So they put the lines in, and then I guess much like the train, the locomotive train narrative, if you build it, they will come. We're just going to go out to these undeveloped suburbs, and eventually people and businesses will come in. Oh, okay. So obviously a vital part of the infrastructure. If it's changed hands a bunch of times in 5 years, it means it's got to be making a profit even at 5 cents. How many millions? 20 million people a year. Branches of the system were also extended into Waikiki, Fort Shafter, and Nuuanu Valley. HRT continued to develop several neighborhoods around the city and also established the Honolulu Aquarium in 1904. The heck does that have to do with a trolley company? As an attraction at the end of a line across from Kapiolani Park. Okay, so that's their version of a trolley park or electric park, was the aquarium, I guess. Sure, why not? It's Hawaii, after all. Got to have aquarium with trained dolphins and seals and stuff to entertain the people while they have their coconut and pineapple drinks. Got to get a nice foothold and plant some roots in that official narrative now that we've taken over from the Kingdom of Hawaii. By 1910, the system transported 8.9 million passengers annually, the equivalent to 110 rides per person per year for every person living on the island at the time. So every third day-ish, the average person, every person actually on the island, was riding this thing. By 23, streetcars had a ridership of 20 million per year. Ridership declined through the late 20s and 30s due to the rising popularity of, here we go, automobiles and buses. That's early. Usually they're phased out in the 50s. HRT had begun introducing motor buses into their fleet, and that's early too. 1915, they already had buses and trolley buses, which used existing overhead electrical wiring. In 37, both, which aimed to eliminate track and paving. Okay. An increased focus on buses, the new Uanu, Punahua, and Manoa streetcar lines were demolished in 34. Some of the rail, only a few years old, was used to refurbish the King Street line. By 35, HRT system was nearly evenly split between the two modes of transport, with 45 trolley buses and 50 streetcars in regular service. Final streetcar ran shortly after midnight, July 1st, 1941. Very early on. Most places it's 1950, 51, 55 maybe. A couple places late 40s, right after WW2, but this is a very significant date in Hawaiian history, is it not? Just saying. The final streetcar, okay, with service converted to trolley buses later the same day. Well, that wouldn't have been chaotic and confusing. The company promoted the switch to trackless trolleys as the greatest mass transportation improvement Honolulu has seen since the electric streetcar of rapid transit replaced the mule-drawn trams. Oh, they weren't even horses, they were mules. Yeah, mule, yeah! HRT's trolley bus service ceased June 22nd, 57. The fleet of diesel buses, fully replacing the 115 electric trolley bus coaches. By 1970, they saw 30 million annual passengers riding its fleet of 141. And on January 1st, Happy New Year, 1971, 350 employees went on strike. Hostile takeover by billionaire businessman Harry Weinberg. But I can't buy this company. Anyway, there it is. The Honolulu Rapid Transit and Land Company. Just checking up with the chat here. Oh, yeah, I agree. Kathy Broughton. Everybody's talking about the rigid airships and dirigibles and stuff. Yeah, the Hindenburg false flag. Yeah, I would agree with that. That's one of the theories I've heard too, Bradley. Bradley Johnson saying, I wonder if the airships harnessed the ether somehow. I think the Hindenburg disaster was made to basically eliminate dirigible and rigid airship travel, or at least limit it to very few, right? The Navy, Air Force, the Goodyear blimp, and that's about it. The rest of you, Why? Because back in the day, you had, shade tree mechanics and backyard handymen that would build their own dirigibles and fly them around and stuff. And old fairs, not world fairs, the big fancy ones, but, county fairs and stuff back in the 1890s, even the 1880s. These guys would have them on the fairways with, the rides and all the concessions. And, you pay the guy 10 cents or a nickel or whatever. He'd take you up and take you for a little fly around the fairgrounds and then land. And who's next? So no, we can't have regular Joe and Jane Q public just building their own air devices, vehicles, and flying around up there. So we better scare the Sam Steele out of them, scare the jumping Jehoshaphat out of these people. And then, a bunch of laws that say you can't do it anymore, and now you have to have a pilot's license. Right? The usual. Howdy, Sage. Dragon Sage in the box. How's you going there, my fellow Canuck, fellow Canadian there, bud? A lot of snow out in Ontario down in your way there, bud. We had a lot of snow. Then we had the Chinook winds give us a nice warming trend for about a week. But, as they used to say on that show with dragons and whatnot, winter is coming. Winter is coming. It's going to come back with a vengeance. It always does. Just when you get used to the warm weather, the blue skies, sun shining, old man winter comes and sucker punches you right in the penis. Anyway, let's see what else we have to look at here. Wow, that went off the rails quick. This is images of oldhawaii.com. Honolulu Rapid Transit System, the HRT. Again, links below. Why do they keep making me try to pronounce this Hawaiian stuff? Nuuanu Valley was the first of the valleys to undergo residential development because it was convenient to the town. And most people walked from town up into the valley. How do you walk up into a valley? Just asking.
That doesn't make sense.
In 1888, the animal-powered tramcar service of Hawaiian Tramways ran track from downtown to Waikiki. In 1900, the tramways was taken over by the Honolulu Rapid Transit and Land Company. Okay, the dates are a little different here. I thought it was 01 here and 1889 here, but it's fine. Maybe the Kingdom of Hawaii had a pre-existing system. So when they were annexed by America, the pre-existing system. I mean, the official narrative was they came in and they wanted right away to put electric in there to be more efficient than the mule. I don't know. Anyway, HRT initially operated electrically powered streetcars on tracks through Honolulu streets. Power came from overhead wires. Its land component included investments into the construction and operation of the Honolulu Aquarium, now the Waikiki Aquarium, a popular attraction at the end of a Waikiki streetcar line. In addition to service to the core Honolulu communities, HRT expanded to serve other opportunities. In the fall of 01, the line was also sent up into central Manoa. The new Manoa trolley opened the valley to development and rushed it into expansive new century. In particular, it would help to sell a very new hilltop subdivision, College Hills. Oh, College Hills, lovely. And also expand an unplanned little village along the only other road, East Manoa. Okay. Howdy, Morgan. Good to see you there, bud. Hello, hello. The rolling stock consisted of 10 10-bench cars, 15 8-bench cars, 2 closed cars, 8 convertible cars, and 10 trailers. So different size cars, pretty much right out of the gate. I guess the convertible cars are, I've got some photos we'll look at, like I said, after a break in the show here. I thought they were sightseeing cars, but I guess potato, potato, it's kind of the same thing. For the line work, wooden poles 30 feet long were used and placed about 100 feet apart. The necessary span wires are so placed to allow the trolley wire, which was 4-gauge copper wire. I guess that's what that is. I don't know. I'm not an electrician there, man. But 20 feet above 20 feet above the track. All right. Company operates on 20 miles of trackage, which is continually being extended to anticipate the demands of traffic. The overhead trolley system is in vogue, with power supplied from modern generating plant operated by oil fuel. See, that's where they say, well, we wanted to get rid of the trolleys and go with petroleum. The electric system was supposedly already powered by petroleum, so what's the difference? Oh, was it because it was safer and quiet and more efficient to use the electric? So they had to get rid of it? That's probably more than likely what the real story is. Oh, Doc. Howdy. Snuck in the bathroom window. Careful now. The entire equipment conforms to the latest offered by modern invention, providing for safety, durability, and comfort. Company's service extends to Waikiki Beach, the famous and popular resort of the Hawaiian and tourist, and where the aquarium, the property of the company, is one of the great objects of attraction. Yeah, you said that already. The Kapiolani Park, the Bishop Museum, the Kahauki Military Post, the Royal Mausoleum, Oahu College, and the Manoa and Nuuanu valleys are reached by the lines of this company. I forgot to hyphenate it this time, and it threw me for a loop, or whatever we did up here. Anyway. At least they're citing all of their quotes and sources. The service was inaugurated in 1915, initially using locally built bodies and later buses from the mainland. Okay, so the bodies of the buses were locally built, but who built the chassis and the engine and the transmission system, suspension system, electrical system, ignition system? You know, all the guts and the pipes and the vroom vroom beep beep stuff. You know what I'm saying? So withdrawn early morning of July 1st, 41, after being installed August 31st, 01. So they had a strong 40 years, I guess. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon on June 31st, 1941, car 47 left the HRT car house. Number 47's run that day was unusual. To begin with, it was an old open car, one of those originally built about 1908. In addition, the car sported one of the largest lays ever made, which circled it completely. Of course, got to do the Hawaiian thing, put the lei of flowers there, eh, bud? Aloha and whatnot. So cereal in the box. Howdy, howdy, howdy. At the controller was George Bell. Ding, ding. Son of Jack Bell, who ran HRT's first car in 1901. Take off. Really, they found the kid of the guy who ran the first car to run the last car. Really? Really?
I don't believe you.
Streetcars were replaced completely by buses, first gasoline, later diesel. Entrepreneur Harry Weinberg from Baltimore began investing in HRT in 54 and methodically proceeded to take over by 1960. After he took control of HRT, he went on to continue investing in real estate and other corporations. Okay. So first came the establishment of the Public Utilities Commission in 1913. HRT started to spin off non-utility properties and operations to a subsidiary to avoid regulatory oversight. In April 37, the U.S. Supreme Court validated the 1935 National Labor Relations Act that strengthened the role of labor or trade unions. So on and so forth. I guess it kind of lines up with the Wikipedia article. Some of the dates are different. At least these guys, they cite what articles and quotes and so on. So it's could be interesting to look further into. So link below for that as well. Bell's son. Yeah, of course. Bell and Sons. No, isn't that ironic? That's, the trolley bell, ding, ding. Yeah, when it's pulling up to the stop or when there's traffic or people walking by, ding, ding, clickety, clack, ding, right? It wasn't beep, beep yet. It was ding, ding. You didn't even have the awooga yet. You got to go from ding, ding to awooga to eventually beep, beep. That's the progression of the warning signal from a vehicle. Used to work for Ma Bell, eh? Huh. I think Bell was one of those companies that's just everywhere at some point. Anyway, what did you think of that? Link below. Again, the Wikipedia, as well as the images of oldhawaii.com. I thought there were some photos there. Maybe I didn't scroll down enough. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I've got a nice little folder of photos that we'll look at after the break. But before we get into that, what do you say we get into the good stuff here, the main course, what we're all here to see? The pedestrian Oblivion over there in Hawaii with this streetcar trolley tram footage. Just pull it up here. We can get started with this. And again, yes, this is from 1906. So 5 years into their 1901 dealio. Just going to pause it here for a second. Sure everything's going okay and it's coming up all right. Should be all right. Let me know in the chat, in the box, if you're not seeing it or anything. So if you're new to this, I'm going to be pausing it every once in a while to throw in my 2 cents and, make some kind of jackassy comment here or there. But the thing that I love about these is not only these folks that are, again, they seemingly totally oblivious to the dangerous traffic, horses and buggies, trolleys, bicycles, you name it. But, it's I guess, a form of people watching. But not only that, it's checking out the background, the buildings in the background. Again, vehicles, if there are old cars. In this one, there isn't, but it's just very interesting to me. And because this is Hawaii, the camera occasionally will pan and you'll get, ocean views. I mean, with it being 1906, 120-year-old footage, that's maybe not necessarily going to be as scenic as one might think. But the guy's trying. So yeah, I love this for the NPCs blindly stepping out into traffic, but also for all the buildings and whatnot in the background. And keep in mind, this is Honolulu, Hawaii, 1906, but you would not be at fault to think this was just anywhere in mainland, America or Canada or even in the UK or Europe somewhere around the same time period. Anyway, enough blabbing. So I don't have any sound or music to this or anything like that. It's just the raw footage, hasn't been monkeyed with. So hopefully you can see it okay. You're not going to hear anything. Should I have put some light music in the background maybe? I guess I could have, but it's fine. So here we go. Well, right out of the gates, we got this guy. What are we, 10, 12 seconds into this thing? And Buddy with the bowler hat and the gray three-piece suit on, just strolling in front of this thing. Like, will you get out of the track there, bud? Not a care in the world, too. Not a care in the world. At least that guy with the umbrella stopped himself. Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. Just this Buddy with the kid. Hold your child's hand when there's a train coming at you there, will you, bud? It's kind of a nice shot of some of the structures there lining the streets. Not necessarily what you might expect for early on in the American. This is just where the film takes a bit of a jump or a skip here, but it's nice to freeze it right there because you can see the buildings a bit. But not long after, annexation of the Kingdom of Hawaii, and you're just seeing this could be, I don't know, somewhere in Nebraska or Missouri or Montana, Oregon, I don't know, Maine, some town in Ontario or Saskatchewan. You know what I'm saying? This could be Cheshire in the UK somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But as per usual, chaos in the streets. And yes, that is the name of the game. Dragon Sage, clueless pedestrians. Yeah. Anyways, you got 3, 4-story brick and stone structures built in the same sort of style that you see all over the realm. Look at these guys on bicycles just right in the middle of the street. They're riding their bicycles in between the oncoming trolley, as well as any other oncoming traffic, and traffic going the other direction, which I'm assuming is going to be another trolley, because I can see the power lines on the right-hand side of the screen there. But again, horses and buggies and whatnot whipping by on that guy's left. But no, I'm just going to ride my bike right down the middle of the road. More strolling in front. Look at, get out of there, bud. That guy didn't even look. You see that in the light gray suit there? Didn't even look. Just, I'm going, and the hell with it. Hell with it. You can see this is quite a main street. It's probably the main street, right? And it just goes and goes as far as the eye can see. Some slight curves, obviously, because it's built on an island. Another guy just walking down the street and a bike coming up behind him. Horses and buggies everywhere. Look at the light fixtures hanging from the wire, too. I'm guessing because they have electrical at this point powering the trolley or the tram, that those lights could be electric lights as well. Yeah, exactly. Chassis Nicks in the box saying, I guess people didn't care about getting run over. Nope. Just gonna walk right out. Yeah, that's right. Ross, water the tree in the box saying it's like it's totally foreign to them. This is 1906 in Hawaii. 1906. It's Honolulu, Hawaii. 1906. Yeah, Bradley Johnson says they had their 5 seconds of fame getting hit on film. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're getting at. Yeah, yeah. Well, there is one building that they go by at one point that does look very French Quarter Nolans for sure. With the upper and lower floor French style verandas or balconies, looking very French Quarter. But nope, Hawaii, with volcanoes and pineapples and parrots and, it's long stretches here where there's not much in terms of pedestrians. And then all of a sudden you get into an intersection or a little stretch in the road here, maybe where there's more markets or shops. Then you get all these crappy curtains. No, they have awnings, but the awnings aren't enough. So now we got to hang our bed sheets. We got to hang our sheets, our king size sheets, to provide shade from the heat, I guess. But meanwhile, we're going to walk around in 3-piece suits, shirts, ties, dresses with corsets, and of course, hats with dead birds and flowers in them. Again, the cameraman doing a little bit of panning left and right, which is kind of nice. Get some good shots of the buildings, the folks, the people. Yeah, nobody looks what you would call native Hawaiian. Mind you, I think a Hawaiian today of native Hawaiian descent, is still a, full-blooded Hawaiian, for lack of a better term. I think the way they look today is not how they looked 120 years ago. Right? It's the Western diet and the Western way of life has changed their physiology. they've become rather rotund. Not all, of course. I'm just speaking in generalities here. But they've become large, whereas traditionally island folks are quite slim and slender. Yeah, the poles aren't the best aesthetically, are they, Baja? Baja says those poles with 10 racks of wires are an eyesore everywhere. But at least what they've done here is they're using the same pole for the electric, the telephone, and the old telegraph system. There was a point, well, I mean, it still does, but there was a point where there was a huge overlap between the old telegraph and the old telephone, apparently, because not everybody had a phone, but everybody had access to a telegram. Dragon Sage, Cabbage Patch Reset people. Could very well be. That theory could go a long way to explain their seemingly laissez-faire, in terms of their casual attitude to the dangers of street traffic. They mentioned that this line eventually goes to the Waikiki Beach and Resort, and if I'm not mistaken, I've put some bonus footage at the end of this thing. Look how beautiful this looks as I interrupt myself, by the way. That's just a nice shot right there. With that sort of park area. The horse and buggy as the tram goes by, that nice building. It's a beauty. But anyways, I think I tacked onto the end of this thing some bonus footage of folks riding the tram back from the beach and the resort back into the town or city. But it's not taken from the perspective of the tram or the trolley itself like this is. It's taken from the ground as it's coming at you. What is this guy doing walking down the middle of this? Don't you see there are paved sidewalks on either side of this roadway, sir? You got horses and buggies coming at you, and you're just walking right down the middle of the street like you own the damn thing. What is wrong with this guy? Sir, explain yourself, please. What are you doing there, bud? You some kind of tough guy? You looking for problems? What are you doing in the middle of the road, bud? I just got to ask, why are you doing that? Howdy, Annie. Orphan Annie in the box. Happy Sunday fun day to you. Good to see you. I mean, yeah, Ross watered the tree saying jaywalker. I mean, I've heard of jaywalking, but walking down the middle the street without caring the world too. I don't give an F what's coming at me or coming behind me. I don't care. Sir, I will have you know there seems to be a fleet of steamrollers for some reason barreling down upon you from behind. You may want to exercise caution and get out of the roadway, sir. You've got steamrollers for some reason. Plural, by the way. Not one steamroller. No. A few. And this guy's just gonna go for a nice relaxing walk down the middle of this road while heavy machinery is coming at me from behind. And a trolley is coming at me from the front. Because lest we forget, this view is taken from basically the driver's window of a trolley. Well, that's just it, right? He's like, yeah, there's no cars yet, so I'm fine. Meanwhile, but you got horses and buggies coming whipping at you, and steamrollers, apparently, for some reason. Oh, man. Howdy, Scott. Good to see you. Scott Pike is here, everyone. Yeah, you got to have a nice asphalt steamroller to make the surface of the road nice and compact and hard for the horses and the buggies, which is already a rough ride, right? Let's face it, no matter how good they did with the springs and the, you know what I'm calling, leaf springs and all whatnot underneath these things, it's not exactly a smooth ride. The trolley is a smoother ride than a horse and buggy, to be quite frank. Well, and that's the other thing too, right? I mean, this guy's just walking down the middle of the road when clearly there are sidewalks to the left and right. You can see them there on the right-hand side. But yeah, you're going to step in some horse poop. You're going to step in some road apples. That's what we call them around these here parts there, eh, bud? Road apples. It's ridiculous. There's another guy. Is he walking or on a bike? Oh, he's on a bicycle at least. Okay, I was going to say there's another guy walking down the street when there's clearly a sidewalk there. But he's on a bicycle. Look how wide the street is, by the way. And look at this building on the right coming up here with these big pillars, columns with the capitals on them, and a big balcony on top. Massive entranceway. Look how tall those pillars are compared to that guy standing there on the side of the road on the right. 15 feet tall. Mountain in the background. It's beautiful. Even in black and white, I guess it is quite picturesque. This guy just walking. Is that a guy walk? I'm going to back it up a smidge here. Is this guy just walking down the street carrying, I don't know, bags, barrels, buckets? Why are none of these people walking down the sidewalk? I'm just headed to market with my wares. Okay, that's fine, bub. Not a worry. But get out the road, will you? That's right. BCS World in the box. Good to see you, bud. It says horses didn't poop in the 1800s. There's evidence of that in every photo. Amazingly, not everyone sees the lies before their eyes. Everything is contradicting. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, Scott, you're right. It is very built out for an island that was just taken over, just annexed by the United States, the former Kingdom of Hawaii. What are we at here? Year 8, year 10 of the annexation of Hawaii by the U.S. Built out and electric trams everywhere. People don't know how to watch out, and they'll walk down the middle of the street, mind you, but it is what it is. It seems so, doesn't it? Water the Tree says they've never walked outside before. It looks that way almost, like it's coming right at you. You get on the sidewalk. Kwe ni tap. Old world Mi'kmaq in the box. Good to see you, brother. So, yep, just carrying his buckets or luggage or whatever it is, barrels, baskets of bananas, pineapples, coconuts. I don't know what they grow out there, man. I've never been to Hawaii. This guy was thinking about it for a second. This guy that's now standing in the middle, he was just a strolling calmly and softly, and then he just thought better of it. Watch as the tram comes around this easy little corner here. Did I miss it? Where is he? Oh, I think I missed it. Steamroller guy. Taking the goods to town guy. He's coming up, right? And then there's another guy that he starts to slowly stroll in front of the tram. Oh, this is bicycle guy. And then he decides to look and something's coming at me here. I better stop and let that 20-ton electric powered train pass before I walk in front of it. Let me just stop. There's a nice shot of one of those light fixtures, by the way, right at this fancy place. Yeah, very interesting device. First time I see Old Hawaii on video. Yeah, this is 1906. 1906 Honolulu, Hawaii. Yeah, pineapples today do not look like they did in old photographs and old sketches, old paintings, old books. Yeah, they're kind of a weirdo hybrid. They were much smaller. Anyway, okay, so here's taking my wares to town guy. Not gonna use the sidewalk. I refuse. Just gonna walk down the street amongst the horses and buggies and trolleys and bicycles. There's another light fixture. Here comes that guy. I'm strolling, not a care in the world. And then he looks, oh. Okay. All right. You can see that where the track takes a bit of a curve there. So I think maybe at this part of the line here, remember that track has a sort of a secondary track that comes off of it. Thinking maybe because at this point, no matter what direction the trolley is going, it uses a single track. There may not be a track on the right-hand side of the road. So this is where one trolley can pull over and allow the right of way of the other trolley. Cousin Vinny. Good to see you, Cousin Vinny. On Freemason in the boxes. This looks fun, gang. Just checking in while traveling. Good to see you, Cousin Vinny. You know, you get Frankie fingers. Eventually, you might get yourself a Cousin Vinny over here. Huh? That's right. So, Tommy, where have you been, huh? I've been watching Newest Reset. Huh? Well, you know, it's Newest Reset. It's this thing on YouTube. He goes around, he does his boots on the ground thing. They'll tell you. Not traveling in Hawaii, unfortunately. Yeah. Where are you? Where are you traveling right now, bud? Indeed, yes, safe travels. Bon voyage. Bon voyage! As, you know, Bugs Bunny used to say. Okay, so I guess, yeah, there's a nice ocean view there. Beach view, ocean view as the camera's panning to the right. Again, the black and white doesn't really do it justice per se. You can see they've got a wall there that looks like to prevent sand from blowing into the street and onto the sidewalk. And there hasn't been a guy with a broom and a dustpan there for a few days, it looks like. Yeah, that was from Goodfellas. Ah, yes. So I did tack on some bonus footage for you here. Yes, here we go. So here's a little bit of the tram as it goes to Waikiki Resort and Beach. Just a quick little snippet here. Everybody always wave their hats and handkerchiefs at trains as they go by for some reason. There's a thing. Like, you've already got your hand. Why do you need to wave your handkerchief or your hat? It's very strange to me. Look at these clowns just hanging off of these trams coming back from the beach. Does that look safe to anyone in the chat? Let me know in the box. Would you do this? Like a bunch of semi-feral baboons? Like, what are you folks doing? Of course, they're all wearing jackets and ties, and the ladies are wearing dresses or skirts. Yeah, that ain't going to get caught in anything as this trolley's going by and they're hanging off the side like a wild person. What are you doing? I'm not going to lie. Everybody looks like they're having a good time. Yeah, it kind of does look like a concert let out. Everybody's heading back into town after spending a day at Waikiki Beach and Resort. So there you go. And there it is. 1906, Waikiki, and the Honolulu Rapid Transit System. Not what I expected when I first saw it. Yes, that's the thing, right? Is you see Hawaii in old photos and old film footage like this, and trees, bushes, flowers everywhere. Unfortunately, as of late, not really in that state. Unfortunately. All right, so what are we looking at here for time-wise? Roughly 10 minutes past the hour. So speaking of old footage, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, this is Hawaii? I actually had to double check. I cross-referenced it with some old photographs to make sure. And yeah, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Honolulu, Hawaii, 1906. Do you like it with no sound, or do you like it with a little soft music in the background or something like that? Let me know for next time, because, again, this is an ongoing series here on the live Sunday Fun Day show, the Pedestrian Oblivion series. I think this is the 5th one I've done now, 5th or 6th. But for the next one, let me know if in the footage itself you want a little bit of instrumental, quiet music in the background as we observe this. Let me know in the chat, in the box, or if you're watching this after the live, let me know down below. Comment your comment in the comments. A little bit of music, says Hippie. You got it. You want it, you got it. Anything you want, you got it. Anything you need, you got it. Anything at all, you got it, baby. Roy Orbison. Can't quite hit the notes like he can, because he was one of the greats, but there you go. Sloan. Maybe play some Sloan or Big Sugar. Yeah. We'll see. You know, I dig the Sloan and the Big Sugar. Can a dummy in the box. Good to see you, bud. Howdy, howdy. Welcome. Maybe some harmonica. Ah, there. See, there you go. There you go. Could be, could be. We'll see what we got. Anyway, speaking of old video footage, I'm going to take a mid-show break here, and as per usual, give you a sneak peek at your upcoming midweek vintage footage video. If you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Thank you very much for joining in on this train of shenanigans and chicanery and buffoonery.
Shenanigans.
Or if you've been around for a while, as a reminder, every Wednesday I upload a vintage footage video. I find old video footage, put it together with some music, put it up on Wednesdays. Every Friday I do a boots on the ground video, somewhere here in Calgary. Or if I can get out of the city to a smaller prairie town or something or whatnot, check it out. see what's what, try to poke some holes in the narrative. And then every Sunday back here for the live show. And this is where I give you a little sneak peek at that upcoming Wednesday's vintage footage. This time, no different. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a sorbet to cleanse the palate, as it were. Been showing a lot of vintage footage that had winter scenes, ice, and snow, and whatnot. Going to give you a bit of a break from that here. This is actually some old forgotten footage that's in an old documentary from the 1925 that I found. And it's of the same topic of a recent past live stream where I talked about Port Nelson, Manitoba, and how I think it was a failed reset. It was a former established pre-reset city or town with some sort of infrastructure. Some kind of event happened, and after things calmed themselves down, the powers who should not be went up there to check it out and try to kickstart it and just couldn't get it off the ground. Anyways, I discussed that in a previous live show. And, surfing the interwebs and found this. It's too bad I didn't find it in time for that show, but this is like for some forgotten footage. It's spliced in amongst an hour-long documentary from 1925. So without further ado, I'm going to quit yakking about it. 3.5 minutes long. This is forgotten footage, Port Nelson, Manitoba, 1925. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. This one's a good one. Put your ear goggles on, your headphones, your head cans, and we'll see you on the other side of 3.5. All right? Cheers, everyone.
He's a cat who smokes that job. This job will take you for a ride. Yes, the feeling will arrive when you smoke that killing jive. It will make you feel so funny. Darkest days will seem so sunny. Yes, the feeling will arrive when you smoke that killing jive. Well, baby, it will make you feel so hot. Oh, baby, you stop rocking and you can't stop. And if you don't get enough for that bad man, not sad man, it will make you feel so funny. Darkest days will seem so sunny. Yes, the feeling will arrive when you smoke that killing. Come on, Jim. Oh, yeah. It will make you feel so tall. Seems like you are gonna fall. Yes, the feeling will arrive when you smoke that killing jive.
All right, and we are back. Welcome back, everyone. Frankie here, New West Reset. Hello, how's it going? Thank you very much for shooting in, joining a fella here for another one, another live one. New West Reset live, episode 154 here today. We're looking at some crazy Hawaiians. It's Pedestrian Oblivion here on the show. Another one in the series, Hawaiian Pedestrian Oblivion. They're seemingly totally oblivious to dangerous traffic. There's horses and buggies and trollies and bicycles going everywhere. Steamrollers, apparently. I don't get it. Thank you very much for joining me here. Appreciate all of you winding down your weekend with yours truly on the live show. About 20 past the hour, 20 past 6 p.m. local time, mountain time. Because as always, we're coming at you live from the foothills of the Canadian Rocky Mountains. Here in southwestern Alberta, Purdy, Alberta, right here in Calgary, Cowtown. Thanks for being here for the Sunday Funday show. Woo! Woo! Thank you to everybody who's watching this after the fact, after the live. Appreciate all your support. Links below for everything we covered at the top half of the show. Boop, down in the box, in the description box below, as well as how you can get a hold of a fella, email, BitChute, and so on and so forth. And of course, Rumble and YouTube. Howdy, everyone on Rumble and YouTube. Thanks for joining me. Howdy to everyone in the box. Good to see you. Canna Dummy is here. How's she going there, bud? Channel Fitty Tree in the box. Cousin Vinny's over here on Freemason. Kathy Broughton in the box. Fellow Canadian Dragon Sage is here as well. There's Ross, Water the Tree down in Kansas City, Missouri. Good to see you there, buddy. Hippie Shake. Howdy, Hippie. Sharing the links and keeping an eye on things. Appreciate all that you do, Hippie. Hippie's been around with me for a long time doing that. Appreciate you. Same with Orphan Annie. Have a good night, Orphan Annie. Cheers. Morgan's here. Good to see you. Howdy, JR. Thanks for shooting in there, bud. Modoc in the box. So yeah, thanks for winding down your weekend here, everyone. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. So I got some photos to share here. We're going to have a look at a few photographs. It's not a huge file, but just to give us an idea of what was going on with, again, a few street scenes, a couple where you can see the tram or trolley tracks in the street themselves, a couple of interesting structures. No particular order per se with these. I just kind of found them where I could find them and put a little file together. So they are labeled kind of willy-nilly and so on and who's it, but that's fine. It's fine. We'll get the general idea. So what did you think of that old footage? Kind of surprising that that's Honolulu, Hawaii in 1906. Quite an extensive urban streetcar or tram system that seemed to branch out into the suburbs without a problem, even though they were underdeveloped and there was really nobody and no businesses to speak of out there yet. That's fine. It's fine. We'll just run the tram out there anyway. All right, let me get this going here and see what's what. And again, We're going to be looking at photos from basically the 1901-ish to right until they basically shut it down, 1940s. And again, as a reminder, they seem to have 4 different types of trolley cars or tram cars right from the onset, once they went electric, of course. There's another shot of that light fixture. Seems pretty high up, doesn't it? Must have been really efficient, cast some good light. But they had some here with the cow catchers on them. They had some that were open on the sides like these, more of like a, what I thought would be like a sightseeing car, which would make sense in a place like Hawaii. Beautiful structure in the background here, by the way. Got this, I'm assuming, is an iron and glass mezzanine, not mezzanine, I guess awning, for lack of a better term. But there's probably this beautiful iron holding it up. You know, you gotta have it be all fancy, even in the small Hawaiian islands. This is the Dillingham Transportation Building. Still stands today. It's basically the offices, the corporate offices for one of the transportation buildings. Because actually, Honolulu, Hawaii had its tram system, but whatever, Oahu, I think, is the other island. I don't know the names of the islands. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm a sheltered Canadian up here, eh? Good enough of our own islands that I can't remember the names of. But there was a completely separate tram or trolley system on this other island as well, and this was their headquarters. Very beautifully embellished just for a rickety trolley back in the day. Beautiful shot of downtown Honolulu, Hawaii. Right around the same time period as the old footage we looked at. No cars yet that I can see, just horses, buggies, bicycles, and pedestrians. But you've got the trolley tracks. Here's where it looks like it may take a turn here somewhere. There might be a little junction track here. But you can see what I was talking about earlier, where they've got the electric lines for the trolley and the lights and the power on the same poles as the telegraph wires. So while it's still unsightly to kind of look at, it's at least it's all on one pole. Some old photos in some cities we see is 3 or 4 different poles for each different set of wires. It's a nightmare. Look at this building. Honolulu, Hawaii. Sponges, brushes, combs, perfumery. The Hawaiian Drug Company. Because you can open a drugstore, you want it to be super fancy like this, bud. And actually have both buildings. This building, Hawaiian Drug Company, and this building. Clearly separate buildings. Brick here. This one's some kind of stone by the looks of it. Big, huge entranceway for this, average sized guy. It's twice his height. Entry on the corner, too. Look how tall these sidewalks are. Streets are still muck and crap and dirt, but they've got the rail line and sidewalks are done. Oh, and fire plugs or fire hydrants, too. Good point, Bradley. Bradley Johnson says huge windows on the second floor. Yeah. Big arched windows with the keystone effect or design above it. And not to mention all the shenanigans. All the way down the street, too. Not looking very Hawaiian. Downtown as well. Just a different street. This looks like that wide promenade where we saw the steamrollers. Looks like we may have a bit of construction going on back here, maybe. Perhaps. Looks like we might have some iron I-beams and steel girders or whatever here. And might have some construction going on, maybe. Perhaps. Hard to say. Meanwhile, you've got this stone structure here. It's been facaded here. Maybe two different buildings. I don't know. Clearly, there's some columns with capitals on them, too, behind these palm trees. We're at the point where we have automobiles already, but we still have dirt streets. This is 1937. See, this looks like one of those open ones that kind of looks like a sightseeing car, but it doesn't have that running board where you could just step in from anywhere. You've got to go in and out the front or the back. And it doesn't have the cow catcher / people catcher on the front. Again, this huge building. This looks like a French Quarter in New Orleans type building. And this big behemoth here in the background. At least the streets are paved already at this point. So that's something, I guess. This is the Honolulu, excuse me, I did it again. I keep tripping over that. It's like amateur hour around here.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
The Honolulu Rapid Transit Car Barn from 1909. So yeah, I guess we get a good shot of the different types of streetcars or trams they had. See, here's that open one with the running boards. You could just hop on and sit down from any point. But then they have the other ones that you can only access from front or back. That's why I thought these were the sightseeing cars, you know. It just seems very strange that they would have all these different types of streetcars or trolley cars. That would mean all your mechanics and all your maintenance crew would know how to have to work on all of these different, 3, 4, 5 different types of cars. Or would you have a team of guys that specialize in this one, and then another team of guys that specialize in this type, and another for the, you know what I mean? It just kind of lends more credence to the fact that maybe this system was already in place and it was found, dusted off, reverse engineered, got up and running, and it was just hobbled together. Throw some of these on some boats from, I don't know, San Francisco and send them on over to Hawaii so we can get this thing up and running over there now that the kingdom is bent a knee to us. Again, another one of their buildings. This is their car barn here and their powerhouse. Can just barely make out some stacking of some brick here. Looking a little bit castle-esque. But this just looks like it was added on to the front of a much older structure that has a big, huge arched door here, double door. Completely different style of window, and it's got a big smokestack. So was this some kind of building that served some sort of purpose, and then it was, falsely claimed and repurposed? And oh yeah, no, this is just our, powerhouse. This is the generator that powers everything. Maybe that dynamo was used for something else initially, and then they just build this onto the front. And yep, no, it's our rapid transit powerhouse building. Some of these photos are terrible because they're so tiny. There wasn't much out there photograph-wise, believe it or not. If I zoom in too much, it's going to get a little pickleated. Sorry, but see, this to me looks like a sightseeing car, but apparently it's not. It was just what they call a convertible style. I wonder how many people these actually caught. I guess if you're just strolling across the street without looking before you cross, these came in handy for the oblivious pedestrians. Here we get into the horse, or excuse me, mule-drawn streetcar trolleys. Look at this in the background, by the way. Looking very mainland America, Presbyterian or Methodist church. Looks like it's been in Hawaii for a while. Not looking very Hawaiian. This is just pure shenanigans to me. So much so I put it on a t-shirt, for crying out loud. Here we go with hanging our bed sheets or our blankets. Because it's so bloody hot. That's another reason why I think these were repurposed and jerry-rigged together and all MacGyvered. Why even have this type of a streetcar trolley, this type of a tram system, if it's too bloody hot and you got to hang your bed sheets or your blankets there? You got to hang drapes. Why not have a completely enclosed car with windows that can be opened for ventilation, but said windows are tinted in some form or another? We know they could tint windows. They're stained glass, going back to what we're told is, the Middle Ages, even before the Middle Ages. Again, excuse the quality of some of these, but again, they just label these convertible, but I think these are sightseeing cars. I mean, they're larger and they're so open that I think this is for tourists. Fort Street and Punahua? Punohu? I don't know. Again, everything's built out. You've got masonry of some sort, brick or stone buildings. You got an electric system that powers this thing. The guys that run it are wearing uniforms and sharply dressed. They've got different lines and different numbers. I mean, it's all very organized, but still, the streets are just garbage. Just crap. Mules pulling these things. It's just, I don't know, man. Call me crazy. I'm just not buying it.
Horse shit!
Hotter in 1937 than it was in 1906, obviously. There's something crazy going on with that, right? It just seems, I don't know. If it's so bloody hot out and everybody's dressed to the nines all the time, you would think that you would just have more than, some doilies, some drapes, some curtains to hang to protect you from the heat and the sun. They seem to like to take a lot of photos here back in the day. Look at this in the background. There's that structure again, portal, some columns here. Definitely looking very churchy. Again, I'm not familiar with the area, so if you know, let me know. Big, huge, beautiful arch here with more columns. Yeah. Whatever this beauty is here in the background. Again, excuse the pixelation. Got these fence posts with, I'm guessing, is a nice decorative wrought iron fence. All of this sophistication in the architecture, and you've got mules pulling your trolleys or trams on a dirt road. Make it make sense. Look at this road. Again, excuse the quality of this one, but look at this road. Yeah, mule. Meanwhile, they're building structures like this. This is one of their depot stations. This is the Oahu Railway and Land Company. Park your auto safely at home. Use the streetcar service. So they're already trying to compete against the narrative of the convenience of the automobile. Thanks, Mr. Ford, for making the automobile affordable enough to have one in every driveway. We saw how dirty and muddy the streets were. Sand blowing everywhere. Mules or horses pulling these things at one time. But then we see all these massive buildings. You know, it's, I don't know. Here we're just building castles. Just building some castles. It's not a problem.
It was super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Again, some kind of poured concrete curb or something. The road's junk. Exquisite architecture, electrical infrastructure, mass transit system, some kind of curb, but dirt roads. Kathy Broughton's got it right there. This just doesn't look how I thought Hawaii would look like, especially in 1906 when it hasn't been so-called modernized, you know? Hippie Shake says, I'd love to go on one of those trams. Yeah, the old sightseeing ones. You see what I mean? You just hop on the running board here and then just get on in at any point. I don't know how you pay your fare or what have you. Maybe you just put it in a little slot here and it just clink, clickety, clink. I don't know. I've had the luxury of riding on a couple of old trams. And they're quite nice. All wood on the inside, and brass, and nicely decorated. So there you go. That is the last one in the file. Like I said, not a large file, not a lot out there, actually. Aside from the same repeating photos over and over. The guy had to do a little bit of digging to find, you know, half-decent amount of photographs. Scrolling, catching up with the chat. I know, dead air. We can't hear you, Frankie. Say something. Are you there? Kenna Dummy says, I'm in Winnipeg. Atlanta's about 30 miles from here. Dragon Sage says, I love Winter Peg. Yeah, the peg, man. Peg's got a bad rap. Don't mess with Winnipeg, Manitoba there, bud, or you might get one of these upside your noggin there, eh? you might get one of those upside your noggin. So there you go. And again, as a reminder, links below for everything we covered, top half of the show. Eventually, I do put these, the footage themselves from the Pedestrian Oblivion videos that we look at. Eventually, I do put them up on my channel as a vintage footage video on a Wednesday in its own right anyway. So keep your peepers peeled there, folks. Keep your ocular sphericals locked into the channel. Don't forget to, hit the notifications so you don't actually get any notifications, because that's how YouTube likes to work. No, I don't get notifications for all the channels I subscribe to either, especially when they're going live. But give it a shot. What could it hurt, I guess? I don't know. I'm shadow banned anyway, so it is what it is. So I'm getting ready to wind this thing down shortly and get some dinner down in my gullet. I'm going to have some chicken. I'm having some chicken tonight. That's right. Before I do that, let's see what I've got here. I like to end these things with a little bit of fun. I like to have a few laughs. Although the Pedestrian Oblivion series is always good for a few laughs. But yeah, I like to wind these things down with a few funny little shorts, videos, whatnot. Who's it? So yeah, I usually have a late lunch on a Sunday before I go live. And then I have dinner after the live show. And just kind of jump in on Stuffed Beagles live once in a while as well. Throw in my 2 cents over there. Say howdy to everyone. I tend not to eat like this guy, though. This is just odd. The amount of salt they put on gets me every time. I guess it's a stereotype or a thing. I don't know. Oh, sure. Why not eat your tomato like an apple? Why not? My granddaddy used to eat onions like that, by the way. He used to say to me, it's good for your blood, son. Oh, yeah, the hair's glorious. Yeah, I know the wig is off the charts. The wig is off the charts. Love how he just shoves it into his face when he's about to say, I'm not hungry. I'm not. Right in his face. Cousin Vinny on Freemason in the box says there is literally a foghorn blowing outside where I am right now. Where are you right now? I asked you already, and you probably answered, and I missed it. So that's on me. I apologize for that. Sorry about that, eh, there, buddy? It's going to be pretty foggy for them to actually literally oh, West Van. Be careful out there now, bud. Be careful now. You realize by the time you come back, it's going to be colder than a witch's elbow here too, eh, buddy? But we should get together and at least go to the to our favorite pool hall and have a couple of games of stick and a couple of games of pool, because it's going to be cold. So it's best to get together, but stay indoors, perhaps, because you could slip and fall. when it's icy and cold. Stuff like this could happen.
Five.
Ooh, ouch. I could feel that one. I felt that on the back of my noggin. Ooh, I felt that on the front of my noggin. Back of the noggin again. Ay, ay, ay.
¿Pa qué?
Para irme.
¿Pa dónde?
La piscina.
¿A qué?
What are the odds? What are the odds? Clang. Clang. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but
I wet my jockeys here.
which do you think that hurt the worst, his knees or his face?
Pretty girls walk like this.
Oh, save the baby. You know, if she wasn't carrying that baby, she would have gone down like a sack of potatoes. But somehow, because she had the baby, the extra human reflexes kicked in, the survival instincts. She's going to be sore tomorrow, though. When she gets up in the morning, she's going to be, ow, I'm sore in like 6 places that I didn't even know I had.
Oh, by the way, it's slippery. Don't fall. Hold on.
Oh, ow.
She just fell. Look at the face print.
That could be you, Cousin Vinny. Be careful. Be careful.
Nothing can go wrong.
Oh, my teeth is knocked out. At least 4 front teethuses on that one, I bet you. I'm willing to bet you $1 to good Canadian donuts. There's a couple pairs of teethuses missing there.
No, it all went wrong.
That's going to leave a mark. Get ready for surprise in the morning when you look in the mirror. I'll just say that. I will just say that. Oof, really? In a restaurant kitchen? Owie. Owie. Yeah, that's right. Having a physical body can be hazardous. Yikes. Castrado. Mamma mia. That's just because you know a kitchen floor is going to be like tile or something, right? So no cushioning. I mean, ice doesn't have much cushioning, but at least some of it will chip away. Ooh, I guess along with bits of your front teeth as they chip away, but the tile is less forgiving, I'm guessing. I don't know. Yikes. That's all I can say about that. So there you go. That is it.
You know what I mean? All right, we're having a good time.
So that is going to seal the deal here for Frankie. New West Reset, a New West Reset live episode 154, Hawaiian Pedestrian Oblivion. Again, links below for everything that we covered in the top half of the show, as well as how you can get a hold of a fella, email, BitChute, YouTube, Rumble. My location map, courtesy of Unfree Mason, Cousin Vinny, is there as well. You click on that and it opens up the Goggle Machine app that shows you everywhere the guy's done some boots on the ground. And speaking of which, again, as a reminder, every Friday, boots on the ground right here on the channel. Wednesday, vintage footage. And Sunday back here for the live show. If you would like to make a donation to the channel, would be super grateful. It's certainly not necessary, but I really, really appreciate it. Link for the PayPal down there. And if you share with me your email and what size you wear, I'll send you a t-shirt or maybe a baseball hat. Something. There's quite a few folks already. Title's got one. Hippie Shake's got one. Cousin Vinny's got one. Dragon Sage has got one. Kathy Broughton. There's a whole bunch of folks. Howdy, Sig. Speaking of PayPal and emails, Sig, if you email me, and I'll send you a t-shirt there, bud, for your kind generosity. All right, so with that, I believe Biggs is going in about just over 5 minutes. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. Appreciate it. Thanks for winding down your weekend here on the show. Until the next one, take care out there and have yourselves a good one. All right? Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma.